We have another big report from Dianna Russini to dive into here on today's episode of Chicago Bears Now, but it is Lions week now that the bye is over. I'm challenging Lions Talk to a subscriber battle this week, our Lions channel here at Chat Sports. Lost them on the field last time, but won the sub battle that week. I want to win the sub battle again this week. So if you want daily free Chicago Bears content, including a live show later this afternoon, go ahead and subscribe today. What will Chicago Bears president Kevin Warren do after this season? That is the question we have all wanted to know, really since he was hired, but especially since this season hasn't gone exactly to plan. Well, Dianna Russini dove into this and has a big report coming out in the last couple of days. Now, the key note here, before we get to some of her quotes, is no in-season changes are coming. They are not going to make any firings. They're not going to bench Justin Fields or something like that. So nothing is happening until the end of the season. But apparently Warren will consider everything and make some big decisions after the year. Let's get to Dianna's report. She says, a league source told me the current staff is expected to finish the regular season, and then decisions will be made. Big decisions. The future of quarterback Justin Fields. The futures of head coach Matt Eberflus and general manager Ryan Poles. Everything is being evaluated. Obviously, you got 5 games left here, starting with Detroit this week, which we mentioned off the top. At Cleveland, Cardinals and Falcons at home. At Green Bay, which we're not getting into it today, but they're starting to look better, which is not exactly a good feeling if you are a Bears fan. There's a ton at stake these next 5 weeks. Not only for this season, because you're only 2 games back. Technically, you can still make a push here to at least flirt with an opportunity of the playoffs, but just big picture. Like, there's a lot at stake for your big trio of head coach Matt Eberflus, GM Ryan Poles, and quarterback Justin Fields over the next 5 weeks or so. Here's Dianna specifically on Kevin Warren now. A league source told me Warren has been given the power to oversee Poles in the Bears front office. Warren has a strong hand in football operations and will have a significant role in the potential firings, hirings, and decisions at the quarterback position. This feels like the Kevin Warren show, no? It definitely does to me. Now, I don't think that means that he's going to fire Ryan Poles and become the de facto GM and make literally every football operation decision. It just means he's got the control to put his own people in place if he wants to, right? Like, it seems like that is how this is structured and how this is set up. And this reporting, if accurate, confirms that, which is kind of what we've thought for a while. So this is very interesting. I mean, you're going to finish the season out. Kevin Warren's going to sit down and kind of give his final evaluations, and then he's going to decide who he wants to be part of this franchise moving forward at the 3 key positions. And obviously, if he decides to make changes, they could be drastic. Do you trust Kevin Warren, who really hasn't had to make a decision yet on anything? So it's kind of hard to base anything off of at this point. Type T for trust or D for don't. Pin comment on today's show. If you get hit with an ad break, answer right there. T for trust or D for don't. Another quote from Dianna on Kevin Warren saying, he won't be making any knee-jerk decisions or choosing a path for optics. He's described as methodical, unemotional, a planner. There's a long-term approach being applied. It doesn't take a lot of emotion to see that the Bears could be in line for another major overhaul. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Here's something to remember. Kevin Warren was brought in after Justin Fields was already here. Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles, he was brought in after them. They were brought in before or after Justin Fields was already here. Kevin Warren, I think we assume certain things like, oh, no way Ryan Poles goes anywhere. Obviously, we're not as sure on Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus, but he could reset it all if he wants to. It sounds like he clearly has the power to do that. The Bears, I think they're improved, but I would still argue they've underachieved. They blew 2 easy wins. We'll see how the final 5 weeks go, but Kevin Warren might just say, you know what, like say the Bears go 1-4 down the stretch against a not very good schedule, finish 5-12. Would it shock anybody if Kevin Warren said, I'm scrapping this whole thing and I'm resetting the structure of this franchise? I wouldn't be shocked. Now, coming up, I'm going to dive into the hot seat status of Matt Eberflus, Ryan Poles, and Justin Fields I want to take a look at all three and how things sit right now, because I think how things sit now could drastically be different in how they sit 6 weeks from now. So stay tuned for that. But I do want to tell you guys about our sponsor today. That is Game Time. I used the Game Time app to go to Thursday Night Football to watch the Cowboys and the Seahawks the other night. Rocked my Justin Fields jersey as well. And I don't think I've told you this. I saw another guy there with an orange Justin Fields jersey. Also, should have gotten a picture with him, but didn't. But the point is, I used Game Time because I got $20 off, and I bought tickets the day of. They got flash seals, last-minute tickets, flash deals, I should say, last-minute tickets, best prices out there. It should be easy when you're buying tickets to go to a sporting event, concert, comedy show, etc. With Game Time, it was so easy. Nothing was confusing about it. Got tickets right away. Got my parking pass with Game Time as well. And guess what? I plugged in promo code BearsChat to get $20 off. You can too. Download the Game Time app today in your app store. You'll see it's the big G with the black background there. And plug in promo code BearsChat when you create your account today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. It's Game Time. Go enjoy yourself and get those tickets in a stress-free situation. Okay, let's dive into the hot seat status of the big three here. We'll start with the general manager, Ryan Poles. And again, this is what I believe on the outside looking in. I don't know what Kevin Warren's thinking, but I'm going to say it's cool for Ryan Poles. I don't think he's going anywhere. I do think that could change. Again, if it's ugly down the stretch, which I would be surprised. They are 4-4 in their last 8 games. Could they go 2-3, 3-2, and we'd still be disappointed in the season? Yeah, but they, I think Ryan Poles is pretty safe for now. But if it's ugly down the stretch, maybe Warren just blows it up. I think Ryan Poles has done more good than bad. You look at some of the moves he's made here. Here are some of his hits, and there's certainly a few more than this, but the DJ Moore and Montez Sweat trades look very good. The Darnell Wright pick's been good. Some can say, he could have gotten Jalen Carter. That's true, but Darnell Wright looks like an anchor at right tackle. I'm not going to, just act like that's some big miss by him. The TJ Edwards contract has been fantastic. He's been one of the best linebackers in the NFL. Got him for $6 million a year. Braxton Jones, pick in the 5th round in his first draft was excellent. Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker haven't been awesome, but this year they've been much better, especially Gordon. I think those are good value picks in the 2nd round. And extending Cole Kmet was a good decision. Got him at a reasonable price, and he's been a for sure top 10, if not top 5 tight end in the NFL this year. Now you look at some of his misses. Well, how about the first decision he made? He hired Matt Eberflus. There's been some debate about how much control he had on that decision. He said in his presser he had the power to interview more candidates beyond the finalists he was given, and that he had eyed Flus for years. Those were his words, so he's got to own that. I think the defense has improved, but as a head coach, I still have big questions about it, Matt Eberflus. Chase Claypool trade, that's been a debacle. Had to flip him to Miami because it was so bad. Velus Jones Jr. pick in the 3rd round, bad pick. Let's just call a spade a spade. Not addressing center, not good. That's been a problem in the 2 years here since he's been here. He overpaid Tremaine Edmonds. Edmonds is a good player, but Edwards has been much better, and you got him for a third of the price, so that's kind of good and bad there. And then I think he mishandled the Roquan Smith situation, especially considering you didn't want to pay Smith $20 million a year, so then you turn around and pay Tremaine Edmonds $18 million per year. I think that was a learning thing for Ryan Poles. I think he has handled things or trade situations better since then, but that was not a great one. I do think it's been solid overall, though. I didn't even mention the salary cap situation, kind of fixing the cap problems in about 18 months or so. That's pretty impressive. I mean, Ryan Pace did not leave this franchise in a good situation salary cap-wise, so he basically just ate it in year one, got rid of bad contracts, and now fast forward 12 to 18 months, you're in a really good position moving forward with flexibility and with a lot of cap space next offseason. How would you grade Ryan Poles' tenure so far? A, B, C, D, or F? I'd give him like a B-. I think it's been more good than bad, but the misses have been bad. The Chase Claypool trade's a disaster. The Velus Jones pick is not a good one. So, it's been hit and miss, and obviously, eventually, the results on the field have to pay off, and we're not there yet. So I'll go B-. I think it's been good, but I can't give it much more than that. Okay, let's go to Justin Fields. It's definitely warm. I don't think it's hot. I don't think it's scalding. I don't think a decision's been made, but it's definitely warm. Like, there's a real scenario where he's not the quarterback next year. That's true for Poles, but I think it's less likely. I think he's most likely here. You look at Fields' kind of progression as a passer and runner. We'll get to running in a second. It's definitely gotten better. Like, he's improved every single year with his accuracy, his decision making. I do think as this season has gone back, even though we don't see it all the time, and there are times he still holds onto the ball too long, I think he is seeing the field better than he has in the past. So I think that's all been positive. You look at the running; he's obviously been a good runner in his whole career. Obviously, had the monster second season, which stood out. The question is has Justin Fields improved enough? Like, he definitely has improved, but is it enough for Kevin Warren / Ryan Poles, if he's here, to look at this and be like, well, we like you, Justin. You've been good. We think we could probably win with you, but we could also reset the quarterback clock because we currently have the number 1 pick, and at worst, you're probably going to have the number 2 pick with Arizona winning last week. Like, Carolina would have to win at least 2 more games for you to fall to 3 and below, which means you're going to have the possibility of drafting Caleb Williams and Drake May, who I'm not saying are better than Justin Fields, especially as rookies. They probably wouldn't be, but I could see the appeal to resetting if you think one of those guys can be a top-tier franchise guy. And if you're still unsure on Justin Fields, even though he has shown clear improvement, the question is it enough improvement? So I got him in the warm category. See what the final 5 games do. But that situation is definitely it's definitely heating up. There's no doubt about it. What will the Bears do with Justin Fields? If you had to predict it, not what you would do, what you think the Bears will do. Do you think they'll keep him, or do you think they'll trade him? Type K for keep, T for trade. Because remember, if they draft a quarterback top 2, they're not keeping Fields. If they draft one in the second round, that's a different situation. But I think if they go QB with the top 1 or 2 picks, I think that means they're trading Fields. Okay, then you get to Matt Eberflus. I think it's hot. I don't think it's scalding. Like, I think there is an avenue for him to return, but I think that chance is pretty low. Like, if you ask me right now, what are the chances Flus returns next year? I'd go between 25 and 30%. I think there's a chance. I don't think it's a great chance, though. And it's because, even though last year was what it was, overall, you just haven't won enough games. 7-22, even if you take last year out of it, you're 4-8 this year. I think expectations were at least to be around 500 this year. That has not happened. Has only won 1 NFC North game. He still has not won back-to-back games, so you're not seeing sustained momentum or success with this head coach. And I know a lot of last year was tanking, but at one point you lost 14 in a row last year on into this year. Last 10 games last year, first 4 this year. Just bad, man. It's not good. I think he's probably got to go 4-1 the rest of the way, which means he would have finished 5-1 with that win to Detroit. That gets you to 8-9. Probably just on the outside looking in for the playoffs, which we outlined yesterday in our video to make the playoffs. Probably have to go 5-0. 4-1, you might sneak in if you get some help, but 5-0 is probably the only chance. But if he goes 4-1, that means you would have finished 8-4 or 8-5 after an 0-4 start. Is that enough to keep him? Maybe. I could see the Bears running it back if they do that, but otherwise, I think he's probably most likely going to be gone unless we do see one of these type of runs down the stretch of the season. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. We will be back later today, though, for our live show, 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 Central Time, so join us for that. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Bear down.